Welcome to our YouTube channel, Once Upon a Time Ocean. In this video I will explain to you the origin of aquatic plants and their evolution until today. This is the timeline of life on Earth. The history of the Earth begins 4.6 billion years ago. At the start, we can find a period called the Hadean. There is no life and the first ocean was probably created. It was 4 billion years ago when the Earth was going into its second period, the Archean. It is at this time that life appeared. Many theories exist on this subject, but no one is really established. The first organisms on Earth appeared after, but their identity is still uncertain. The organisms that you can identify and who are the oldest are stromatolites, single-celled and photosynthetic organisms. They created organic matter from light energy. These types of organisms are really important to understand the origin of plants. 3.5 billion years later, we come in the Proterozoic. It is in this period that our main stakeholders for this video appeared. The plants appeared with an incredible event, the primary endosymbiosis event. A cell which has a nucleus, thus a prokaryotic cell, has integrated a photosynthetic cell into its cytoplasm by endocytosis. The cell that ended up in the cytoplasm was probably an anaerobic bacterium with photosynthetic pigments. It would not have been digested by the prokaryotic cell and would have been conserved during evolution to progressively become the chloroplast that we know today, and that allows plants to produce energy and organic matter from mineral matter. The same type of event would have taken place before and would be at the origin of the mitochondria present in the cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells. The primary endosymbiosis event is at the origin of a group called Archaeplastida, and it's in this clade that you can find all the land plants. There are several indications that the plasmids originate from an ancestor of cyanobacteria. Plasmids can divide them without the intervention of the plant cells. This process is the same in cyanobacteria. A second argument for this theory is that both algae and cyanobacteria have many similarities in their DNA, because plasmids have DNA. In the same period, we can notice other events of endosymbiosis. Today, we can't say how many of these types of events have taken place. In all cases, other photosynthesis cells have been integrated into the cytoplasm of other cells. There are various things that make us think that there may have been several events of endosymbiosis. There is a diversity of photosynthesis pigments in algae, and some of these pigments are found in several groups of plants that are not phylogenetically related, whereas two closely related groups do not necessarily possess the same pigments. It is therefore different events of endosymbiosis that are at the origin of this diversity within the nearby group. Another argument is the number of membranes surrounding the plasmids. At each endosymbiosis event, a pair of membranes was added around the plasmid, the first membrane from the host and the second from the cell that had been captured. On the other hand, it should be noted that some of these membranes may have been lost by different species afterwards. This is why we can find algae with 3 membrane plasmids. All these events of endosymbiosis have led to the emergence of different plant lines. As you will no doubt have understood, plants do not have a common ancestor but, in fact, have only one common character which allows them to be defined as plants. Indeed, this character is their capacity to produce organic matter from mineral matter thanks to their chloroplast. Of course, we must not forget that they are eukaryotes, i.e. that they have a nucleus, otherwise we could talk about cyanobacteria. 900 million years ago, the first multicellular organisms were known. Multicellularity appeared at different times in the history of evolution, and that of plants as well. There is no exact date known today for the multicellularity of plants. The only thing that is known for sure is that this event occurred later and several times within the different plant families. During all this period of the Proterozoic, the different species of cyanobacteria were the most important photosynthesis cells that you can meet in the ocean. The green algae, which are an important family of plants, were not present in a significant way. In this last part of the video, we are going to see the evolution of plants in the Phanerozoic. At the start of the Phanerozoic, we find the Cambrian, and during this period there has been the colonization of the terrestrial environment by certain types of plants. In the ocean, cyanobacteria decrease and gradually give way to green algae. Today, both big families of photosynthesis plants are present in the oceans. Throughout the Phanerozoic period, plants have evolved into various forms, one or more cells and more or less complex metabolisms. A large number of plant species have become extinct in the course of their evolutionary history, and some of them are now under serious threat. This is humans and their activities. As you can see or will see by watching the next videos, we are dealing on this YouTube channel with the evolution of the oceans during the history of the Earth. We talk about plant species as they were in this video, but also about animal species which you will soon be able to discover. And in this regard, we would like to introduce you to an association for the protection of marine animal species. It is Sea Shepherd. This association fights against overfishing, which is a legal activity, and poaching, which is an illegal activity, through different actions all over the world. One of their main battles today is the fishing of dolphins in the Atlantic. Dolphins get caught in huge fishing nets and end up dying. The Sea Shepherd Association denounces these practices. Sometimes the association intervenes directly in the case of poaching, as for example with the turtle in my yacht. You can visit their website, the link is in the description. We also allow you to make a donation to Sea Shepherd and help them to carry out their various actions to protect marine species. The link is also in the description. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon for other videos on Once Upon a Time Ocean.